I've always liked the North. The more north I went, the even further north I wanted to go. The silence up there can sometimes be deafening. It can seem so empty, but it's so full of life, and that life has been carrying on up there for thousands of years. Generally, people only visit the North if they want something, or if they'd like to see something, or maybe shoot something. Most people are not interested in the long-term well-being of these northern communities. That's why it's so important that northerners help each other and look out for each other. My Métis father was born in northern Ontario, and he raised his three daughters to be proud, card-carrying members of the Métis Nation of Alberta. I was not raised on a Métis settlement, but I was lucky enough to land a career working with Indigenous communities. And over the years, I've worked with incredible groups, but of all of them, the people of the Saulteaux region have a special place in my heart. It was difficult to establish trust with the Saulteaux communities at first because they didn't know what I wanted. With no roads, getting to each community was very difficult, expensive, and always weather dependent. It was hard to get communities to think and act together so that they could take on the big oil company that had been working in their backyards since the 1940s. Everybody knew that eventually Norman Wells would be closing. We just didn't know when. And it was super frustrating watching the company fly in southern workers when there was communities full of willing and able workers right next door. One summer day, I was in Toledo, next to the Mackenzie River and the old Hudson Bay Trading Post building, when I encountered a couple of boys playing outside. They were chasing a fox from his den. As I sat and watched them, I realized that these boys weren't going to get lucky like I did and land a dream job. They probably weren't even going to get any opportunities at Norman Wells unless the communities came together and started working together. After that day, I started slowly introducing the idea of creating a joint venture between the 5 communities, with the hopes that someday all the work to reclaim and remediate Norman Wells would go to the Saulteaux people. With the communities combined, we had the equipment, the manpower, and the willingness to do the work. I wasn't sure if the seeds that I was planting would turn into anything, but I felt like there was hope already growing in each person that I talked to about it. Just when things felt like they were coming together, at age 31 I got breast cancer, and I had to disappear for a few years till I had my health back. When I returned 3 years later, I was thrilled to see that the seeds I had planted had started to grow, and I had gotten all 5 communities to come together to sign a joint venture. We began negotiating with the oil company for a sole source contract for all the cleanup work at Norman Wells, and we were successful. And finally, this spring, Norman Wells, the Saulteaux, will be taking over the environmental monitoring work on site and setting their priorities for the cleanup. Recently, my cancer has returned. This time, it's in my brain, bones, and lung. And I'm hopeful that I'll get back to the North sometime soon, but I'll always be happy knowing that I'm one of the few people who have given back something to the North. It may have taken years longer than I had originally anticipated to get things moving along, but eventually, Norman Wells will disappear from the landscape, and the Dene people of the Saulteaux will be there forever.
across town at the edge, looking